I'm Scott Allen Miller. It's the 25th of October, 2023. This is my vlog of daily life living in León, Nicaragua. Today, I had the busiest day of meetings and interviews that I've had in a long time, but it was a really interesting day. I'm going to be telling you about that when we get back right after the bump. I've not been able to record today's update until pretty late in the day. It's pushing 5 o'clock already. The sun is pretty low. The clouds of the evening storm have already rolled in, as they typically do this time of day. We've had a pretty clear day overall, and today has been a phone call day for me. Holy cow, it's been busy. I start off my days nearly every day having coffee out on the veranda and hanging out outside. We have our morning meeting, and then by 10 o'clock I was in a customer meeting. That meeting went straight into an interview, which I'm going to tell you about in just a little bit. That went on for about 2.5 hours, and then I had a team meeting that went straight, like it was as fast as I could hang up and get on to the next call, and that went until the end of the day. I have literally from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. just calls all day. So I am very exhausted, and that is kind of the theme of my day. But my interview this afternoon was really cool. I got to do a call with Jack Pitman, which a ton of you guys have reached out to me and said, you got to know Jack Pitman. You got to do an interview with him. You got to meet him. You got to have a conversation. And so Jack and I have been having a back and forth for several weeks now, and we're on each other's channels commenting and stuff. And so we've gotten to know each other over like Telegram and over YouTube comments and that kind of stuff. But we haven't had a chance to actually have a call together until this morning. And so that was super cool. He's been here for a long time. He got here after me, I believe, but has been here longer because he was here more continuously, and but lives in Managua and has a completely different Nicaraguan experience than me, which is really interesting because, so first of all, there's very few of us YouTubers here in Nicaragua. Just in general, there's very few. And when you then look at the English language ones, there's extremely few, right? There's a fair number of Spanish language ones, and they've got much bigger channels than our English ones for sure. They're the primary, but they're a very different community, right? They're Nicaraguans. They're not typically reaching out to extranjero, to foreigner audiences, and so it's a very different vibe generally. And for those few of us who are English language vloggers, it's kind of a tiny community, and of us, there's basically two sets. There's a set that does basically nothing but real estate. That's what they're, just real estate sales channels, and that can be really interesting and cool. Like if that's your thing, you're looking for a house, if that's your thing, if you're looking for a house and you want to see what's available and see prices and see them showing, then those are channels that make sense for that. And if you're not, then they generally don't make sense for that, right? They're not things that you tend to engage on long term. You look and you get like this, well, I'm looking for a house. Okay, I picked a house. Okay, I need some information on how to move. Okay, I got that information. That I've moved, those channels tend to fade off, right? Sometimes they do some cultural stuff or whatever. Like, I mean, everybody's channel is their own thing. But generally, that's kind of the focus they have, is this immediate servicing foreigners, and then that's kind of the end of it. Once you've come here, then you're done. The channel doesn't continue to make sense in the same way. And then there's a small section of us that are not real estate. And I know I show some real estate on the show, but it's different. I'm not selling you anything, right? I just showing cool houses because I like to get to see houses. So those of us who are making like actual Nicaragua-based content are very rare, and there's some new ones that just showed up, and I've been watching their show, and it's cool, and I'm enjoying getting to watch what they're doing, and I'm hoping to get to talk to them. But we really are a tiny community, and being able to connect with each other is really neat because we kind of have this shared experience that no one else has, and so that was a lot of fun. This is my first time really doing that. I've spoken to Scott and Elton and some other people. So people have made connections, but none of them have I met in person, which is a huge miss at this point. Like, I can't believe how long all of us have been doing this and not hung out physically together, but we're really spread out. Matagalpa and Acatal and Managua and here in León, like each of us has like our own territory almost, completely at random, trust me. But it's weird that each of us had, like, I have Leon and Chinandega, like that's kind of my zone. And it's really interesting the way that that's kind of just happened. And I want to, in the very near future, get some time, get out there and get in person. So Jack and I did an interview for his channel today, which I hope is gonna be out in about a week. I recorded some of it, so I need to get that uploaded to him, which is gonna take forever, of course. But it is so physically far, both in distance for travel and in time zones, from our families and friends in the United States, that carried a big negative. And so
call everyone at 6 a.m. and
right,
I know what you mean. Like my parents, I have family half in England or half in Europe and half in the US, and I can only talk to the Europeans if I like make sure I call them right first thing in the morning, because for them it's like 12-hour time difference or something, or 14 hours.
Yeah.
Like it's absurd.
Yeah, so that stuff really drove us away from Europe, even though we did love living there, and we potentially could easily live in Europe. Like we have a situation that it's an option for us, and we really seriously investigated a number of places and absolutely loved it. But Nicaragua was so much of all the things we needed, right? Close to family physically. If we need to get back to family in the US, hours. If we need to talk to them on the phone, same time zone. Like all these great things. And low cost of living, like even lower than most of the places we've been in Europe. Not necessarily lower than all, but really low. And again, really good opportunity for the country would let us stay. It wasn't like this big complicated thing. And so I went back and talked to her, and I was like, look, we're trying to find the perfect place. We could spend our entire lives trying to find the perfect place. We know that Nicaragua checks all of our necessary boxes. We know that we love it. We know that it's affordable. We know that we can do it. We know that it's safe, and we know that it like is a place we would be happy, and we know it would make us happier than other options we've considered. And then I'm really hoping that I can get out to Managua, hang out with him in person, and do an in-person interview for this channel. So I'm trying to do that. He wants to do that. That'll be cool. We had a great time hanging out today. He's super cool and has a lot of very different perspective and very different experience here in Nicaragua, partially because he lives in Managua, right? Just because that's where he's based, it creates a very different experience pretty much no matter what. And his type of work that he does is very different than mine, and his just all those things, right? We come from very different approaches to Nicaragua, but have an awful lot of overlap and alignment, I think. And I think, you know, like Elton, I think falls into the same category as being so dramatically, dynamically different than us in what he does every day. His Nicaraguan experience is so different than ours, and yet I think we all fall into a very similar cooperative pattern that's going to be really cool. So that's a huge thing that I'm really hoping to be able to do. I also want to say thank you to all of you guys who've really, holy cow, gone out and been supportive and gotten over to our new channel that I'm helping out with on Nicaragua, at just youtube.com @Nicaragua, because we put in all this work and recorded right here, right behind me where I'm standing. An interview with the band Cadejo, and Marcella came and she ran this interview, and we did all this work. It was so much work to record and edit and a whole concert, and we put that up on this relatively new channel that had like 22 subscribers or so when we posted it, and we're like, oh, hopefully some people watch this. I think it's cool content. And at the time I'm recording this, so you won't see this for a week, at the time I'm recording this, it's pushing 700 views, and subscribers are getting really close to 100, which is not a big number, but those are giant growth for 1 week from that video. And the video is 3 hours long. So this is an enormous amount of time that's going in. I realize people don't necessarily watch the whole thing, but this is for a long format video to have this kind of attention on a channel that has no subscribers, and it was brand new, had like 5 or maybe 6 videos on it at that point. And hopefully by the time I'm saying this, that you see this, there'll be another 2, I think, on there. Like, we're trying to keep that pace up, about 2 a week. They're easy to record, but really hard to edit and really hard to upload because they're huge. But that's such a cool experience. But it's so awesome to see the amount of support that has gone into that from all of you. Thank you so much for making that happen. And for those who haven't checked it out yet, please just take a moment. It's a concert, great music, a good interview. Leave it on in the background, whatever. Just go watch it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you can. Every little bit really helps get the word out about that channel. Clearly, YouTube is starting to promote it, and people here are sharing it around, and it's getting some attention. So it's very cool. But that was a ton of work, and because of that, a lot of bands and venues have reached out to us and asked us to record concerts and to do interviews with them, which I think will be really fantastic. I'm excited about the possibility of doing some of this stuff and getting out there and sharing the Nicaraguan artistic experience with more people. We are talking to an artist who may interview and show work on the show. That's going to be a little bit more complicated, but we're trying to coordinate that. And I think that will be really interesting and neat and a dynamic bit of content. Of course, all this is in Spanish, but we're going to try to get them subtitled in English. I'm hoping. I've been so busy. I literally don't know if the video has English subtitles yet or not, because they are automated. Sometimes they just pop on. So that's been just this really cool project. And I'm invited to a number of things this week. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, I get to go record Ronnie Duarte and Caroline Lopez perform, and it's Caroline's like comeback show. She used to perform a lot in town. She hasn't in a while. You'll see her on like guest performances, but having her own concert, it's been quite some time. They're going to be performing tomorrow night at El Padrino, which by the time you see this, it'll already have happened, but I'm going to go record that. But in the afternoon, I have to figure out how to sneak away with my kids because it is the opening day of the FNAF movie that they have been waiting for forever to go see. And so as best as possible, I'm going to take them to the movie theaters so that we can go see that in theaters. For those who don't know, that is the movie version of the video game Five Nights at Freddy's. Definitely not something that I'm looking forward to watching, but I promised my girls that I would take them. So that is in the plans, going to happen. Then on Friday, in 2 days, we have more stuff to record, more things over the weekend. I have multiple things on Friday. I'm going to try to get in for a jazz symposium at the art museum here in town, and then go out for recording a band. It is just crazy busy all this week and today, but things are good. It has been a very good week for everything going on, and that's it. I kind of wanted to fill you guys in on these kind of cool projects we're going on. I feel like suddenly interviews has become a thing, and I'm really looking forward to getting more of those out for you. And let me know, like, who should we be interviewing? I mean, I just mentioned some people. Hopefully you get them. And I think Jack and I are going to try to do like kind of a semi-regular thing. I don't know if like not like weekly or anything like that, but maybe like a bi-monthly checkup where we get together, because one of the things is being a YouTuber here, there aren't many YouTubers, like I said, but it can be a lonely existence, right? It's a thing that takes a lot of focus and a lot of work, and it's really interesting. And I've got this enormous, amazing audience living in my little box here, and it's great to be able to connect with you guys. But the experience of being on this side of the camera isn't something that I get to share with very many people, and finding someone who can talk about content creation and the struggles and the challenges and the rewards and techniques that they're using and things that they're trying that I've not thought of or haven't done is all super neat and really important. So finding people that are doing that's really cool. That's a big deal for me. So yeah. Let me know ideas for like interviews and things I need to be doing and people I need to be talking to, and ways that maybe we should be connecting on the show to make this all possible. But other than that, just scroll down, say hi, let me know how things are going with you. What are your plans for traveling here? Like and subscribe, post on social media, share with your friends and family. And as always, if you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. And whether you buy me a coffee or not, I will see you for our morning coffee tomorrow.